That was one of the key pieces, and he listened to Locked On 49ers. We told him take the under on Kirk Cousins' numbers. And why did I tell him to take the under on Kirk Cousins' passing yards? Because the 49ers secondary isn't as bad as y'all say. And I tell y'all all the time. This is a game that the Vikings kind of had to try to throw the ball to get back in this game, right? They had to throw the ball to try to get back in the game. And even then, Kirk Cousins still down 14 points was not able to hit the over on his yardage, which wasn't anything too crazy. He threw for like 260 yards. That's not bad. And that's with a couple blown coverages by the defensive backs, maybe the safeties or whatever. You had the one Hufunga. I don't even know if it was like a blown coverage. Let's talk about it. So I don't know if it was a blown coverage by Hufunga, but he had two crossing routes kind of climbing towards him, right? And one was climbing up, and the other one, which was Thielen, trailing it, and it put Hufunga in a tough spot. Do I continue to go with this Jefferson crosser, or do I stop and go with Adam Thielen? And then Adam Thielen did a smart veteran thing to do, because as that was happening, Hufunga was gaining depth, but Adam Thielen said, okay, you're kind of going with that. I'm just going to take it right up here. I'm going to adjust, and hopefully my quarterback sees it. The way to defend that is you got to get to the quarterback. Kirk Cousins was able to roll left, buy time, see him late, and then throw that ball. Pass rush gets there, keeps him in the pocket. That doesn't happen. So, obviously I've been tougher on the pass rush than the secondary, but ultimately I did not think that the secondary was bad. And for everybody, we gotta talk about this. Y'all got to give it a rest with this Josh Norman thing. Josh Norman is not as bad. Now again, what are our standards for him, right? Like my standards for Josh Norman are not that high. We're talking about somebody who did not spend any time in the offseason with the 49ers. Week 1, he wasn't even signed. It wasn't until Jason Verrett got hurt that the 49ers brought in Josh Norman, just off the street, right? Like that's probably the best you can kind of do. But what are your standards for him? It's the same thing with Jimmy Garoppolo. We talked about Jimmy Garoppolo, how he started. Well, I'm sorry, that's kind of Jimmy Garoppolo. He's going to start weird sometimes, but again, he's going to come back, he's going to make up things, and he's going to contribute to a win. I don't have these high, lofty expectations for Jimmy Garoppolo aside from, hey, man, just play as well as you can play. And ultimately, that should lead to some wins. When it comes to Josh Norman, I don't think Josh Norman is going to shut everybody down, nor should you. But the way y'all talk about him is like he's just this huge liability. And I'm here to tell y'all, he's not. Go look at some of these other corners around the NFL. There are a lot of liabilities out there in secondaries. A lot. And we talk about guys like Trevon Diggs. I love Trevon Diggs. I would love him on the 49ers. I think he's a go-getter. He's a risk taker. He's going to make plays. Guess what, man? Guess what? He's giving up the most passing yards in the NFL, the most penalties, probably the most penalty yards, right? We're talking about Trevon Diggs, but he's taking the ball away 8 times, and that's the name of the game in the NFL. So Josh Norman, he's out there. If he just, gets the pass interference call, which I thought one of them was weak, the other one, okay, I see. But, Josh Norman, if he's just out there and those things happen and he gives up the catch to Justin Jefferson, and it's man, there's just nothing good about why is he out there? I would get it. But the fact that on any given play, he potentially gives you the opportunity to get the ball back by punching the ball out. And he also has an interception. He's punched out 7 balls this year. He has forced 7 fumbles. I repeat, he has forced 7 fumbles, if I'm not mistaken, or 6 fumbles. 6 or 7 fumbles he's forced. And on top of that, he has an interception this year, right? So when you look at him, it is okay, you got beat there. Okay. Yeah, it's because of the narrative on him and that he's just so bad, it's everything that he does is magnified. If he does anything wrong, we're talking about Josh Norman. If Norman does anything wrong, that's why he shouldn't be playing. It's man, guys get beaten in the field. How do you let's talk about Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson has been going crazy. Jamar Chase going crazy. Cooper Kupp going crazy. You got all these receivers going crazy. Who do y'all think they're going crazy on? On air? No, they're destroying other DBs. Like the 49ers DBs aren't the only guys that will give up catches. Somebody's gonna give up catches. Somebody like there's very few guys that are just like, hey man, that guy is kind of a shutdown guy, right? You got guys like Jalen Ramsey. I don't even think I think JC Jackson, if I pull up the numbers, you guys would everybody wants to sign JC Jackson right now. All y'all. I bet he's giving up top 5 most yards in the NFL. I could be wrong. But I bet JC Jackson has given up top 5 yards in the NFL. Maybe not, I don't know. But I'm gonna try to look it up. I don't want to spend too much time on it. But what I'm saying is the guys all be glorifying and thinking this and that we could just do so much better than Josh Norman. You're wrong, especially for what the expectations of him are. I don't expect him to be Jason Verrett. I just expect him, okay, he might get called for a holding. Okay, he might give up a catch or two, but he also might take the ball away. He might punch it out. He might do some things that can help. Oh man, he missed a tackle. Okay, we got him off the street. Now we can bring in Diamador Lenore, but Diamador Lenore, I saw somebody that tweeted out uh Diamador Lenore getting roasted Josh Norman, and it was like the greater sign, right? Like he'd rather see Diamador Lenore get whooped than Josh Norman. But my thing is, at least Josh Norman gives you the opportunity to take the ball away at any given moment. He punches out multiple balls, sometimes multiple balls in a game. Like that's big time to give your team opportunities. Somebody's gonna get beat. Somebody's gonna give up catches. Somebody is. It's every week. Like, so I get it. I'm going to bat for him. And if he gets picked on like we've seen from like the guy Brian Allen last year, or like sometimes what we saw with Akilla Witherspoon, what we saw last year from Emmanuel Mosley, who gave up 14 catches in one game. If that happened to Norman, then I'd be like, all right, y'all, like y'all right. He gave up 14 catches like Mosley did last year in one game. But that's not what's happening to him. He's been called for a penalty here and there, and he's giving up a catch here and there. But it's not terrible. So we got to kind of, but it's like the moment Josh Norman gives up one play, it's like, see, get him out. Or the pass interference, oh my gosh. It's whatever, dude. It's whatever. He's out there, he's making plays, got him off the street, he's doing fine. Let him be out there, punch passes away. Fourth down, he was game on the line. He was right there and contributed to an incomplete pass. You know what I'm saying? So here we go. Hold on. I swear this fan base, if you have any feedback on the player, you are a hater. Come on. I would say that I don't know. Who's the hater? I hope I'm not. I hope I don't sound like I'm calling the fan base a hater, or that you guys don't know what y'all talking about. I'm not saying that. Josh Norman sucks, and forced fumble here and there doesn't make it better. My thing is, all right, what if it were Josh Norman that ran down the right sideline of the Philadelphia Eagles for a 70-yard touchdown that ultimately barely stepped out of bounds, so they called it back? Or what about the 91-yard reception that Diamador Lenore gave up against the Philadelphia Eagles? Or maybe the slot fade that they called pass interference on Diamador Lenore. A couple of other times where guys got behind them and the pass was overthrown. Like, we can do this, and at the end of the day, and he wasn't taking the ball away. So my thing is, and again, I'm not saying don't get Lenore in there. Like, okay, get him in. But what I'm saying is you could do a lot worse than Josh Norman in the sense of how I watch the games on play-to-play basis. And I'm not one of those guys that just, okay, 49ers are on, let me turn my TV on, watch 49ers. Okay, 49ers are done, let me turn my TV off. I watch football all day. I watch college football, I watch NFL football. I see how these things are being officiated. I see the challenges that cornerbacks face. I see what Josh Norman is. I know what he isn't. I'm watching these other guys. I'm seeing what's happening around the league. And I'm telling you, you could do a lot worse than Josh Norman. A lot worse. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. I wanted to make sure I got that out the way. It's like the way they talk about Josh Norman, the way, I ain't gonna say y'all wrong, but y'all kind of wrong. It's not as bad as y'all think, trust me. But we get so caught up in watching like the 49ers and every single play and critiquing every play. And when you do that, obviously other things are going to stand out to you, and then kind of you get lost in that bigger grand scheme of things of how guys are playing around the NFL. So again, and I like Diamador Lenore. This is not a shot at Lenore. I'm just saying I know I saw people kind of use him at, oh, well, Lenore should be playing, and I'm thinking like maybe, but I don't think he was just better than Norman. And again, I value taking the ball away because the NFL right now, the way the game is, one, they're calling pass interferences at an alarming rate on a lot of people. Uh, the game is so wide open. The schemes are crazy. So, I mean, you're going to give up yards. You're going to give up catches. You're going to get got here and there. So if I know that's going to happen to most guys, then all right, okay, it's going to happen to Norman, but at least there's an opportunity for him to take the ball away, punch the ball away. So that's kind of my thing on that.